City's Madison Square Garden is the backdrop for today's championship rematch as two-time champ Montverde and the game's top player face #1 Oak Hill for the national title next. Welcome to the 2015 Dick's Sporting Goods High School Nationals Championship game presented by Gatorade. We come to you for the third straight day from New York City, but today at Madison Square Garden, it's #2 Montverde up against the top seed undefeated Oak Hill out of Virginia. Yesterday, an overtime win against Findlay Prep for Montverde. A last-second layup sent it to overtime, and Oak Hill dispatched Huntington Prep to reach Madison Square Garden for the second straight year. But the last 2 years, the crown has belonged to the Montverde Eagles, beating St. Benedict's of New Jersey on a last-second shot by Jalen Patterson in 2013. And then last year, here at Madison Square Garden, it's a rematch. A 17-point lead at half for Montverde. They led by as many as 25, and MVP Ben Simmons went for 24 and 12 as they took home the Dick's Nationals crown. Glad to welcome you courtside here at the Garden with ESPN's National Director of Recruiting, Paul Biancardi. I'm Mike Cousins. So it's back-to-back titles for Montverde. They're the #2 seed, but still the team to beat. And Oak Hill comes in with a perfect record of 47-0.
Yeah, this game features 6 ESPN top 100 players, including 2 McDonald's All-Americans, 2 of the most recognized programs in the nation, battling for a title. Mike, it's going to be intense.
It absolutely will. So let's take a look at our players we think will win from within, our Gatorade performance players.
Well, the #1 player in the nation, Ben Simmons, he impacts the game with his skill and basketball IQ. A difference maker with his passing ability. He's trying to lead his team to a three-peat here in this tournament. And for Oak Hill, Dwayne Bacon, #20 in the ESPN 100, has all the talent and tools to be a dynamic scoring guard at 6'6". He's signed with Florida State.
Notably, no Noah Dickerson in the starting lineup. The freshman E.J. Montgomery for Kevin Boyle, and Jean-Marc Kumaje, the 7-footer, headed to Florida State. For Oak Hill, keep an eye on Joe Hampton. He's been spectacular the last 2 days. And the rematch of last year's championship game is underway here at the Garden.
Mike, 2 burning questions. Can Ben Simmons lead his team to a three-peat, or will Oak Hill win their first ever tournament title?
Here's Bacon finding his way into the lane. Corrals his own miss, and a loose ball is off of Bacon's knee. Came as time expired in regulation, cleaning up a missed free throw by Noah Dickerson. From the corner, and the streak continues. Joe Hampton for 3. They shot 56% from the free throw line.
And Ben Simmons taking a 3. That's not his game. He's so complete inside the arc, #20 in the black, the #1 player in the nation. This guy can shoot threes, though, Dwayne Bacon.
Josh Reeves cleans up the miss from Bacon.
Josh Reeves.
They were a much more guard-driven team last year. Oak Hill now is a more complete team, and they can score from pretty much anywhere, with Dwayne Bacon getting his shot off anywhere on the court.
Now, Dwayne Bacon has struggled in the last 2 games. We haven't seen him at his best. He can make tough shots.
Simmons gets out in transition. Kevin Boyle now in his 4th year as the head coach at Montverde after 23 years at St. Patrick High School in Elizabeth, New Jersey. Steve Smith on the other side. Talk about winning a lot of games. He's won 94% of his games, the head coach since 1985.
Steve Smith approaching 1,000 wins in his career. When he scores against a set half-court defense, that's when he's at his best.
Kumaje with a lob from outside the three-point arc from Simmons.
And that's when he's at his most dangerous, Bacon, when the defense is set.
Giddens gets the flush. Borzello, who we'll talk to in the 3rd quarter, wrote on ESPN.com last night. Ponica, #11 in the black, is a guy who should probably see some Division I offers.
He could possibly see some offers. Plays hard, got a good jump shot.
Giddens down the lane, and with the right hand throws it down. Timeout, Montverde. Kevin Boyle extremely displeased with the defensive breakdown.
Little fake dribble handoff. 2 dribbles from the top of the key on display at Madison Square Garden.
Well, you know, if Oak Hill gets the victory today, they will be a perfect 48-0, which begs the question, is this the best Oak Hill team ever? Coach Steve Smith tells me, well, they'll have the best record ever, so that's some bragging rights right there. But he cited the 93, the 94 team, 01, even 2012. When you're at a basketball powerhouse like Oak Hill, 48-0 might not get the title the best team ever, but they're certainly going to try for it here today.
Tara, that 2012 team was great. Let's take a look back. We had a technical foul here called. Marcel Ponitka.
Looks like he hit Joe Hampton below the belt.
But it was Hampton here.
Yep, and Hampton responds to it with a taunting, unsportsmanlike technical foul. We're going to show him a lot of zone. Montverde, not a great shooting team.
Nadim Sy gets the roll with the left hand. And Paul, you talked about this in Montverde yesterday as they played blow for blow with Findlay Prep and went into overtime and didn't shoot very well from three-point range. Howard Washington, their best long-range shooter, was 0 for 7 yesterday and came up empty on a three-point try last time down the floor.
Yeah, Montverde is 2 for 22 from threes in the last 2 games.
Dickerson turns and scores against Giddens. That's a good matchup.
Easy to play with.
Reeves from the wing. And Simmons gets raked across the face. Phillips inadvertently got him going for the loose ball. And that's a foul on the Oak Hill point guard.
Looks like he got him fingers right in the eye. Terrence Phillips oh yeah. His left hand straight into the eyes. Ben Simmons.
Dwayne is checking out Ben Simmons' right eye right now. They did a couple of tests. Ben complaining that the vision is blurry, not so much pain, but blurry vision is what we're getting right now.
All right, thank you, Tara. Terrence Phillips steps out of bounds, and the ball belongs to Montverde once again.
Looks like this is going to turn into a isolation for Dwayne Bacon. He sees Ponitka on him, a couple of inches shorter.
Bacon goes to the short corner. Has it roll off the rim, and it's tipped up and in. Rodney Miller, the Queens native, gets 2 for Oak Hill, and the lead is 5 at the end of the first quarter. With Tara Petrolino, Paul Biancardi, Mike Cousins, glad to have you along here from Madison Square Garden in New York City. The title game of Dick's Nationals 2015. Number 1 Oak Hill in the gray, and number 2 Montverde in the black. And we saw Ben Simmons sitting there on the bench, tending to an eye that was poked by Terrence Phillips. Both going for a loose ball. No malicious intent there.
Don't forget Sy at 6'9". Look at the size and length in the back.
They turn it over. Bacon wants 3, and in transition, it's a lethal try from beyond the arc. Oak Hill up by 9. This has flipped the script on last year's title game, where Montverde led by as many as 25 points en route to a title. Farad Muhammad answers for Montverde, a big-time 3. Muhammad had 7 yesterday. It looks like his offensive groove has come around a bit in the last 48 hours.
Great pass.
6 for Fleming, and he nails the 3. The future Iowa Hawkeye from downtown.
Where your teammate can catch it.
Oak Hill with that size advantage sits back in a 2-3 zone, but Muhammad is going to try and shoot them out of it. Another triple. There's a mismatch. Phillips goes right by Moore, drops it off, and Sy slams it in.
Defender comes up. Dickerson comes up. He lays it down. Sy with the slam. Just beautiful execution. Pick and roll basketball by Terrence Phillips.
Dickerson has it taken away. Reeves runs the floor, goes wide, and Fleming wants another 3. Phillips strips it. And Giddens floats and drops it home. All right, and for more, let's go to Tara.
Oak Hill coaching staff, a major point of emphasis was just that, getting buckets in transition. He didn't feel that they executed their offense well in the first 2 rounds of this tournament. He really was hoping that they could pull it all together. And he said for Dwayne Bacon, he had 17 yesterday. He has 8 so far right now. He said, we just have to get him started early and often. Guys?
Tara, thank you. And there's Ben Simmons back into the game. Went out after being hit in the eye, a collision with Oak Hill point guard Terrence Phillips. And since he left the game, Oak Hill has outscored Montverde 13-8. But Kevin Boyle and everybody in the gym knows that if Montverde's going to win this game, they need Simmons on the floor.
It's just his passing presence, his IQ. Cameron had the layup to put the game in overtime yesterday.
Bacon on the move. Simmons clears it. Drop off for more. Count the bucket. And a hard foul.
Well, I think his vision is okay, Mike. Takes the rebound. Pushes it. His head is up. His eyes are up. Beautiful drop off to Moore.
Night in and night out. Phillips gets by Cameron. Off the window, it's 2.
Efficient with the dribble.
Off to the corner, Howard Washington. It's the 3. He was 0 for 7 yesterday. That's where they'll need him today. Kevin Boyle, night in and night out, is always a high-energy coach.
Well, Kevin Boyle working the official. Maybe just a little too much.
Steve Smith calling Dwayne Bacon the best offensive player they've had since Brandon Jennings. Both teams had technical fouls called against them.
The guys lost their mind during the game. When you're trying to advance to a championship, you got to play hard, you got to play with passion, but you have to keep your head.
Great shot from E.J. Montgomery. Under 10 seconds. It's with the point guard, Phillips. He penetrates and draws the foul. Phillips with a second free throw here out of the timeout.
Nice pressure on the ball, Rodney Miller. 7-footer.
Simmons brings it in. 1.5, a heave from midcourt. Off the mark. Well, Montverde trails by 7 after last year in the title game, leading up by 17 at halftime, but with a less than 100% Ben Simmons this year. So at the break, it's Oak Hill 33, Montverde 26. Let's go to the studio with Sean Farnham. Here's Matt Schick. Welcome back to the 2015 Dick's Sporting Goods High School Nationals Championship game presented by Gatorade. Back in New York City, second-ranked Montverde down at the half against #1 Oak Hill in a rematch of last year's title game. First half stats are brought to you by Geico. On the plus side for Montverde, after they shot 2 of 22 from 3 yesterday, they've already eclipsed their number of made threes, going 3 of 8. But the rebounding edge belongs handily to Oak Hill as they've played that 2-3 zone. Let's go over to Tara, who a moment ago was with Dwayne Bacon.
Dwayne, you got 9 points so far and the lead. What must you and your teammates do to get this done here in the second half?
Just keep turning them over, playing defense, and execute on offense. It seems like when we execute on offense, that's when we get better shots than just coming down and shooting. And they don't know what to do when we execute on offense.
Oak Hill's never won this tournament. How you feeling about it?
I'm feeling good right now. Just ready to come out and play these last 16 minutes of my high school career.
You talked about Ben Simmons being out with that eye injury, and Terry's got more.
Mike, I just spoke to Ben before he hit the floor, and I said, how you feeling? He said, I can't really see on the left side. It's completely blurry. And then he put a smile on his face, and he said, so I guess I'm only going to be looking right.
It's tough for a left-handed player, but they need Ben Simmons. He's got 5 points, played 10 of a possible 16 minutes in the first half. But if he can feed and distribute for guys like Noah Dickerson. Dickerson from the free throw line. It's pure. It is a 1-point game. Oak Hill led by as many as 9 in the first half, and they have never trailed.
Oak Hill sitting in a zone, and they're just standing straight up. Great attack by Montverde, right to the middle or to the short corner. It's going to be wide open.
Bacon gets the foul. His shot just around and out.
You know, he's not played his best here in the Dick's Nationals. Oak Hill still has a 1-point lead.
Big time shot for Farad Muhammad. He's got 9, and Montverde leads for the first time today.
If Oak Hill can come back and win this, Muhammad will be the unsung hero. 3 threes.
He was their leading scorer at halftime with 6 points. Simmons one behind him with 5. Another 3 try. Oh, Joe Hampton has brought his A game to New York City.
Joe Hampton from the Hamptons. Great inside-out player.
Got it again, Muhammad. After scoring 7 yesterday, now has 12.
Who really rose his stock last spring and summer. He's an athlete, can score. Terrence Mann, he's sort of been a prospect for 3 or 4 years now with New England kids, so their perimeter's going to be very good. They bring back a lot of guys, and you know, Paul, I know you love Xavier Raton-Mays, a freshman who was a big scorer for them.
I love Noah Dickerson when he dunks it like that going to Florida.
They're going to be a young team, too. You know, a lot of guys we mentioned are still young. Raton-Mays is a freshman. Phil Kofor, Jarquez Smith are freshmen, and obviously the class they bring in, so they're going to be a team to watch over the next couple of years.
Farad Muhammad having the game of his career.
With all this talent, over a dozen Division I players in this game.
Fleming hit as he enters the lane. A foul on Dickerson. We talked with Jeff Borzello, ESPN recruiting analyst on ESPN.com and recruitingnation.com. Paul, that's one of the...
You know, everyone's after the graduate transfers and the junior college players, and when they could find a guy here playing, you know, at a big event like this, making shots. And
Jeff, who do you like most in that class?
I think Noah Dickerson. I think that he's going to be a guy that, when we look outside the top 20, top 25 prospects in the country, I think he's going to be one of the most productive big men in the ESPN 100, just because he's a guy that can play in the low post, get his own shot, you know, on the block. He can step out, knock down shots that we've seen the past couple of days. So.
Little back screen for Simmons. Let's see if they get him in the post.
Double team comes from Bacon. Washington with 2 seconds. Drops it off. And the shot is no good for E.J. Montgomery. Well executed, ill-timed for the Eagles.
The execution was there. Game clock winding down. Got to get to the rim faster.
The light goes off. The horn sounds before Montgomery's able to flush it down. Montverde looking for their 3rd straight title. Oak Hill wants a first and a 4-point game with 8 minutes to play in New York. 8 minutes left to play, but before we go down the stretch, we have an exciting announcement. Tara stands by with Thomas Bryant.
Thanks so much. Well, here I am with Thomas, McDonald's All-American. You played your last game with your high school team yesterday, and today you came here to tell us a little bit of something that you might be doing next year.
Yeah, I just wanted to come here and just be on TV and just to say that I will be committing to Indiana University to play college basketball next year.
How excited are you to have this decision to be headed to Indiana next year?
I'm very excited. You know, I've been thinking about this long and hard, and I've been talking over with my mom and coaches, with Coach Arkell and everything, and just mostly with my mom. We just felt like being at Indiana was the best decision for me.
Thomas, thanks so much. Best of luck to you at Indiana.
3-point game, Montverde in front. Simmons, blurred vision and all. Misses the shot, goes to the line.
This game inside the arc is outstanding. He's hard to play against. He's easy to play with when he gets older.
He sees the double team come, and a smart move to pull up and score.
Shot that with his right hand. Simmons off the bounce with his right hand. Pull up. Changes hands. Beautiful touch with the right hand. Bacon in hard. Noah Dickerson taking the charge.
So now under 6 minutes left in this Dix Nationals title game here between Oak Hill and Montverde, a rematch of last year's game. Montverde trying to make it a 3rd straight championship.
And Simmons seems a lot more confident.
3 to shoot for Simmons. Outside, Cameron. Montverde had to go to overtime yesterday against Findlay Prep to get here to the title game. Simmons was there waiting. And that's back-to-back great defensive possessions by Montverde.
It's a little down screen, curl into the lane.
Dickerson and Simmons showing they'll take charges, and Simmons showing no ill effects. Bacon steps into a 3-point try. And Dickerson secures it. Dwayne Bacon, 12 points, but only shooting 1 of 8 from 3-point range.
It's been Dickerson and Simmons down the stretch. Farad Muhammad held it together until Simmons could see.
Muhammad is still the game's high scorer with 17, 5 of 7 from 3-point range. He's got it and gives it away to Simmons.
Look at that post up by Dickerson. He was open. Simmons didn't see him.
8 to shoot. Muhammad feeling good.
Oak Hill walking it up instead of pushing it up. You got to get the ball to Terrence Phillips.
Simmons takes his second charge of the game.
Putting up numbers and making his team better.
Simmons with the catch under the basket. And he continues to take high percentage shots in the second half. The Warriors continue having trouble from the field. Under 3 minutes now in this title game. And Phillips penetrates and scores. Will Bacon have the answer for the Warriors? 12 points, a 3 of 15 shooting. Better look, 2 more, and he pulls the Warriors ever closer. 3-point game. Simmons and Montverde winding the clock down. Konitka nearly lost it. They've got 5 on the shot clock. Muhammad cross court. Konitka 2, 1. Back iron. Dickerson offensive board, bucket, and the foul. A momentum swing for the Eagles under 2 minutes.
But they stopped playing when the ball hit the rim. Bacon at the nail. This should be money.
He's got too much on it now, less than 90 seconds to play. Terrence Phillips pesters Muhammad and fouls him.
Of his life.
Last few possessions have just been one and done for Oak Hill as Bacon has not been able to find his stroke. He's shooting 4 of 18.
Ben Simmons.
Simmons for the second time today misses 2 consecutive free throws. Phillips penetrates and Steve Smith takes a timeout. 64 seconds to go.
Mike, he gets double-doubles. He flirts with triple-doubles.
And a 5-second call. So they go offense, defense here. Steve Smith is going to trade out a clown car of players.
Either Gittins or Miller out. They got 2 7-footers.
And Miller gets fouled. And he's already made a visit to Wake Forest. He's got offers from there. Georgia Tech, Tulsa, University of Connecticut. Short on the front end. Will be a key cog to Oak Hill next season.
Yeah, he needs to have a big off season, Rodney Miller.
Five players on the verge of being disqualified due to their 5th foul for Oak Hill. And we saw that in a battle of attrition yesterday between Montverde and Finley Prep. The Pilots had 5 different players fouled out. The door stays open for Oak Hill with a minute to play in the title game. They need to score, they need to do it quickly. Phillips has been a pest all day.
At Florida.
You can follow them over the course of the next couple of weeks for the Jordan Brand Classic, and you can see both those events on ESPN networks. Looking forward to doing both those with you, Paul.
Those are going to be exciting. The Hoop Summit, always one of the best games at the end of the season. USA national team.
E.J. Montgomery, the freshman out of Fort Pierce, Florida, gets a big free throw to make it a 5-point lead for Montverde.
Misses the second. Still really good.
Here comes Phillips and the Warriors. Gets to the basket. Size tip. No. Second try. 3rd time is in. 3-point game. Ball into Simmons. And a foul immediately called on Reeves. Stops the clock at 39.7. Good on the first.
There is none. He handles pressure well.
The nation's top player hits 2 free throws on high school basketball's biggest stage. Montverde 65, Oak Hill 60, 35 seconds to play in New York. From the corner, Hampton, short on the 3. Phillips, offensive board. The indefatigable point guard.
We still have to learn how to run the offense and not over-penetrate, but that will come with time and coaching.
Around and out, Simmons gets the board, his 11th rebound.
high-level competitor. Right now,
And yesterday, only 25%.
46 is maybe the best they've shot all year. Two-time MVP of the Dix Nationals, Ben Simmons.
Phillips has it taken away, and Simmons can seal it for the Eagles with the right hand.
There's your MVP, folks. Three-time MVP, Ben Simmons.
Hampton, no. And Muhammad wraps it up. 1.6 stands between Montverde and another title.
Wasn't looking good on offense. He made a bunch of threes. Simmons takes advantage, coast to coast. Seals the deal.
Warriors 61.